The arena fell silent as Marcus Bennett stepped onto the crystalline floor, clutching what appeared to be nothing more than a sharpened stick. Around him, the galaxy's finest warriors stood adorned in plasma-forged armor and wielding weapons that could slice through starship hulls. The Vrax champion's mandibles clicked in what passed for laughter among his kind. "The human brings kindling," the 8-foot insectoid warrior announced, his voice amplified across the stadium. "Perhaps he wishes to start a campfire before his defeat." The crowd of alien spectators erupted in chittering, buzzing, and melodic sounds that translated to mockery in a dozen languages. This was the proving grounds of Calthara, where species demonstrated their worthiness for seats on the Galactic Council. Humanity had sent their champion, and he carried a wooden spear. Marcus rolled his shoulders, feeling the familiar weight of the weapon in his hands. It wasn't just any wood. It was carefully selected ash, harvested from Earth's oldest forests, seasoned for 3 years, and hardened using techniques his grandfather had taught him. Techniques that predated written history. "Your species has no place among the starfarers," the Vrax continued, raising his vibroblade that hummed with enough energy to cut through neutronium plating. "You cling to primitiveness while the galaxy has evolved beyond such." The champion never finished his sentence. Marcus moved with a fluidity that came from 10,000 hours of practice, from muscle memory encoded in human DNA across countless generations. The spear wasn't just thrust, it was an extension of his body, guided by instincts that emerged when humanity's ancestors first stood upright on the African savanna. The wooden point struck the Vrax's chest plate, precisely at the molecular seam where 2 panels joined. But instead of shattering as everyone expected, the hardened ash flexed, absorbed the impact, and then, impossibly, the Vrax stumbled backward, shock replacing arrogance in his multifaceted eyes. Green ichor seeped around the shaft embedded in his supposedly impenetrable armor. The arena went deathly quiet. "Impossible," breathed Ambassador Telchris from the observation deck. That armor withstood direct hits from plasma cannons during the Rim Wars. But Marcus understood what they didn't. His species hadn't abandoned ancient weapons because they were inferior. They'd simply added modern ones to the arsenal. Humanity never forgot. They had missiles that could crack planets and neural networks that could outsmart AI gods. Yet they still knew how to throw a punch, how to fashion a blade, how to kill with their bare hands if necessary. The spear's secret wasn't technological. It was biomechanical. The wood's grain structure, carefully selected and oriented, created a natural composite that distributed force in ways no uniform alloy could match. Its flexibility prevented shattering on impact. Its hardened tip, treated with resins and fire-hardened using methods older than civilization itself, achieved a molecular sharpness that surpassed many modern edges. More importantly, the warrior wielding it understood angles, leverage, and targeting in ways that couldn't be programmed into combat drones. He understood because his ancestors had survived by understanding, because those who didn't learn these lessons became evolutionary dead ends. Marcus pulled the spear free and stepped back, falling into a defensive stance as 3 more champions advanced. The crowd's mockery had transformed into uncertain silence. A Corellian warrior with cybernetic enhancements charged next, confident that its nanomesh armor would succeed where the Vraxes had failed. Marcus sidestepped with minimal movement, redirecting the attacker's momentum, and drove the spear through the narrow gap at the neck joint. The champion collapsed, systems shorting out. He's not just using a primitive weapon, Telchris realized, his translator struggling to convey his species' equivalent of awe. He's demonstrating that the weapon never mattered. It's the warrior who makes it deadly. By the time the exhibition ended, Marcus stood alone in the arena, his wooden spear still intact, while 7 of the galaxy's most advanced warriors lay defeated around him. Not dead. Humans understood restraint, but thoroughly beaten by a weapon their civilizations had discarded millennia ago. As Marcus walked toward the exit, he drove the spear into the crystalline floor, leaving it standing upright, a message carved in ash and victory. The Galactic Council voted unanimously to grant humanity a seat that evening. They realized that a species that could make a wooden spear relevant in an age of antimatter warheads wasn't primitive. They were adaptable. They were